Here it is, the 2014 Nissan Sentra. Some of y'all may have been curious about this one, so I decided to finally shoot a little review on it. Let me give y'all a tour of the ins and outs and give y'all my average car review guy opinion. So here's the inside. They finally decided to include volume controls on the wheel and everything in the Sentra. Thank you for that, Nissan. You were lagging behind in that area. This is your odometer and fuel gauge and everything. Nice bright digital display in the middle. As you can see, I'm a little low on fuel. I need to get on that, and I'm not buckled in, but I'm not driving right now. To the left of the wheel, you have two drive modes, if y'all can make that out. Eco and Sport. There you go. My phone finally decided to focus. Next to the wheel, you got the illumination control and the side view mirror control and the trunk opener. Very basic stereo system setup. Looks like you get a 6-disc CD changer though. That's nice. And a basic climate AC control setup. And connections for chargers, and that's about it. I don't see an iPod jack. I see an auxiliary in. Well, no iPod jack. That's disappointing. Let me make sure I'm not slipping. No, it's really not in there. Lacking. The dash it's not bad looking. It's pretty plain and curvy. I'll give y'all a better shot of that when I do my back seat shot. And here's the shot across the cabin. I do like this seat material. Considering this is like a smaller car, they usually skimp on the seat material, but this is nice. It don't feel cheap. Here's the look across the whole dash. Hard plastics. The top up here is actually a soft material, so that's not really a plastic. But on the door, you got the plastics kicking in hard. Not the worst plastics. Excuse my greasy fingers from earlier where I was getting down on some Burger King. Power windows, power locks, standard stuff. And a nice soft material on the part of the door that matters. The door handle, where you'll be touching a lot. It's nice right there. You can use this little, what do you call that compartment on the door? I do this a lot. I got a bad habit of doing this. I use it for a footrest while I drive. It's not made for that, but I do it. Anyway, you can put a cup down there or something, you know. Basic stuff. Simple gear shift, nothing fancy. And that's the MO of the Nissan Sentra. Nothing fancy. I look up above. The roof is pretty high. Got some headroom back there. Let's take a look at the car from the back seat. So here I am in the back. As you can see, even with the front seat let back pretty far, there's decent leg room. Once again, I'm 5'8", and I fit back here comfortably. I can stretch my legs. Nothing else to see back here. There's no charger or vents back here for the passengers. It's just a plain back seat. You do have some cup holders, and that's about the only extra feature they throw in for the passengers. And whatever these things are, for you to help pull yourself out of the car or hang some clothes from. I'm just trying to find something to show y'all to make this thing stand out. I'm doing my best, Nissan, to sell people on your vehicle, but you got to do more when you make it if you want to sell it. Here's my patented center console shot so you can see that handsome front view. It's not bad looking. It's just plain. Nothing to get excited about. It's a car. Trunk space is decent for a car this size. You can't ask for much more. It's not a full size. So putting it on the road, my immediate impression is it feels like a smaller version of a Nissan Altima, which I guess it is. The engine sounds exactly like an Altima. Acceleration is okay. Not the best, but not the worst. Let's see how it handles this pretty sharp corner here. Not too bad on the corner. One thing I don't really like, and this applies to the Altima too, is that the engine is kind of loud. I don't like the way the engine sounds in the new Altimas and this Sentra. But the Altima gets amazing gas mileage, so I'm guessing that the Sentra will too, since the engine sounds pretty much the same. And plus, you have an eco mode, economy mode, which I call Eco Boost. A lot of y'all get mad when I call all that Eco Boost. You idiot, only Ford has Eco Boost. Look, it's the same thing. In my opinion, it's an economy mode. So what? Let's see what sport mode does here. Let me activate it. I'm in sport. That actually sounds worse. That was worse. It took longer to get going. But once the fuel finally injected, it picked up. Just a bunch of gimmicks in my opinion. Echo might do something, but I don't know. I don't really think it affects anything all that much. So the ride is pretty smooth. It's absorbing the shocks about as good as a car as this size could do without being a luxury car. Just like the appearance, the drive impression is it's a car. It's a Nissan. It'll do what it's made to do. It'll drive. But I saw that the reliability. I was reading an article about Nissan a little while ago when the new Altima first hit after I did my review. And they were saying that the reliability took a hit. So maybe that Nissan name isn't as a sure thing as it used to be. Okay, now it's time for the nitty gritty. It's time for the nitty gritty on this thing. Basically, Nissan, me personally, I feel like you dropped the ball. You could have offered so much more in this small sedan. But you only gave us the bare minimum of features. I mean, the nicest thing about this is the 6 CD changer and the auxiliary in. I guess the 2 drive modes. But other than that, there's nothing. It's a car that would have been acceptable and maybe impressive about 10 years ago. You know, a 6 CD changer and an auxiliary jack. You mean to tell me I can connect my iPod to this thing with the auxiliary jack? Sign me up. You could have got away with that in 2004. 2014? Nah. That auxiliary jack ain't cutting it. I mean, for me as an Android user, or anybody else with a basic MP3 player, I mean, you can still hook your iPod into it. But you left out the actual iPod charger. I don't even own well, I do own an iPod. I don't use it. I'm more of an Android fan. But to leave that off, that's a big strike right there against you. There's really nothing to get excited about. It's basic. It's too basic. Other cars in this class give you so much more for your money. So it's not an ugly car as far as the way it's laid out. It's so plain. It's like what I would expect from an American car, last generation. I expected more from Nissan than a basic, cheap setup like this. Especially with the intense competition in the small car segment. You gotta come harder, Nissan. Y'all have been lagging behind. Even Toyota throws in more features than this in the Corolla. They throw in a touch screen and, you know, trip information that shows you your fuel economy from the screen. They throw in a rear view camera. Where is that here? It's not here. There was no way I would choose this over a Corolla. Now that's saying a lot because Toyota is known for boring vehicles. But at least you get that. I mean, you get a rear view camera. That's a standard feature now. There's nothing here. It's basic. So based on that, I got to give this vehicle a 3 out of 5. It's totally average, but it's a Nissan, so that alone is gonna sell a lot of y'all on the car. But I would recommend you look at other options. This one is just too bare bones to recommend. Well, you can get so much more for your money. Anyway, that's the average car review guy's opinion on the 2014 Nissan Sentra, the latest model. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.